Hello one, hello all, I am the gothiest ghost of them all, Casper in the flesh. And this right here, it's finally here, the Kendrick Lamar 6th long-awaited studio album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Now, Kendrick Lamar, if you don't know, well, you should know, because he has been a mainstream artist, and still is, and he has definitely delivered to us a very solid, excellent discography, whether it be the great Section 80, whether it be Good Kid, Mad City, or the fantastic To Pimp a Butterfly, which was my favorite album of the 2010s. And also, he released Untitled Unmastered, which definitely was kicking ass of nearly every other contemporary he had in there with just his B-sides and his unmasters. Come on now. Damn, I was kind of lukewarm on. I do feel like there wasn't really much to chew over with that album, and I do feel like some of Kendrick's refrains were a little grating, and I do feel like it wasn't as solid or well put together as his contemporaries. I'm sorry. It's just how I felt. But he's finally back. He is finally back with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and he has a lot to say. And it's been weighing on him for a long time. And this hasn't been anything recently. No, this has been something that has gone on in his past and has been weighing in on him, causing him to take a break, take a mental break until he was ready to be out there again. Now, we got features from him here and there, but not a cohesive project. And Kendrick, one thing I love about him is how, with me being an album connoisseur, or am I saying that right? Doesn't matter. You know what I'm getting at. He knows how to put an album together. Thematically, sequentially, he knows how to put it together. And he does that excellently on Good Kid, Mad City, Section 80, Butterfly, even to here. To be honest, I feel even more so on here because every track has little tidbits of a hint of where the track is going, where the album's going, and it just comes together very well. And with the first track on here, I feel like Kendrick is pretty much giving you the introduction, really telling you what's going on, really telling you not what's weighing on his mind, but something is weighing on his mind, going into N95, which is pretty much a very triumphant feel, speaking on the very disgusting capitalistic situation going on. Basically, big corporations capitalizing off of black art, the black community, and Kendrick is just calling that shit out. Especially with bars like, bear with me here, I wrote this shit down. The world in panic, the women and men on the run, the prophet abandoned the law take advantage. The industry wants dudes and bitches to sleep in a box while they make a mockery following us. This ain't Monopoly watching for love. This is monogamy. Y'all getting fucked. Heavy shit right there. And I know that came off a little choppy, but I wrote it down. And I'm not the best writing person. It's not legible. But we're going to bear with it because we're doing this raw, we're doing this right, and unfortunately I don't have the means to give you a high quality production here. I'm sorry. But Worldwide Steppers, I feel, is certainly a track that gives you even a little more clue of what's going on here. Especially with Kendrick dealing with his demons here of infidelity and the toxicity that has been going through his mind, carrying on this toxic cycle. And I feel like there's really a very confessional moment here and a self-awareness that needs to be admired here. He's not really passing him off as someone who could do no wrong, because obviously he is doing wrong. And he's honest about it, and he's telling you about it, and he's coping with it, which I find commendable. And then we get Father Time, which is definitely a heart-wrenching track for me. It could be of the progressive synths and the strings on here that just really build so much emotion, so much tension, so much emotional potency. It really carries the track as he's basically pouring his heart out to you on how his father was just very non-empathetic. How pretty much he said that showing emotion doesn't make you a man. And I feel that can be devastating. I think fathers need to be more caring, more empathetic to their children. It's okay to show love. It's okay to show emotion. But Kendrick just wasn't getting that as a child, which is unfortunate. Also, we get an appearance from Kodak Black, which is absolutely a controversial move here. If I'm not speaking for everyone, I'm probably speaking for everyone here when I say that. But I do feel there's a self-awareness here, and I don't feel like Kendrick is doing this more as he's an innocent person. No, I feel this is for the sake of rehabilitation and awareness, and I respect that. Could he have chose someone better? Sure. Now, one feature which I don't think is controversial is Taylour Paige, who absolutely nails it with the chemistry with Kendrick on We Cry Together, which is the reflection of a toxic relationship just spiraling out of control, spiraling like the production on the end of this track. And you could just feel the tension. Like, it's definitely Baby Boy meets Kim-ish, except it has a more intimate ending, if you know what I mean. And she's just like on the brink of tears. She's cursing them out. You could hear bottles clinking. She is just on the brink of just breaking down. And Kendrick on this is just being a total dick, an idiot. But she does say something here, which I kind of disagree with. And I'm not really going to spoil it too much for you if you haven't heard it already. If you have heard it already, you know what I'm talking about. How on Section 80, Kendrick was saying pretty much an idea of how women jump to women because men can't really carry out their needs and such. And she says that on here, which ties into the Section 80 album, which I found kind of genius. And this album has a lot of layers. And I'm not sure if I said that previously, but one thing I love about Kendrick's album is the layers that his music has. And you could basically pick up on little different pieces through each listen, like I am, like I did just now. And there are some features on here I don't think go over too well. And I feel there are production choices on here which could have been better and had a little more oomph to it. Die Hard, I do feel is kind of bland on the production end. And I feel kind of the same way with Purple Hearts. But Ghostface absolutely destroys that track in an excellent way, proving how he is definitely in the top 5 of rappers of all time, if I do say so myself. Now, and I'll say this too. Lyrically, Kendrick does not slack at all. He is definitely in his bag on here lyrically. Now, melodically, I do feel he falters a little bit. I do think some of his refrains are a little annoying, but it's not enough to put the whole album in the mid of enjoyment for me. Now, and then Silent Hill is definitely a track where Kendrick is pretty much pushing off the demons. He's pushing off the negativity, or at least trying to. And you could feel that when he says, push these off me like him, which is symbolic to the memories that he is repressing. He is pushing them back. And then it leads into Savior, which is definitely a very important track, pretty much humanizing people who are idol worshipped. And I do feel that is definitely important to bring humanity to people who put, like, regular people in godlike statuses. Even though they may have done this for you artistically and well, they're not your savior. Very, very important. Brings a lot of humbleness here too. And another important track here, I will say, is Auntie Diaries, which is definitely an important track. And keep in mind too, Kendrick is not making this song directly for the LGBTQ plus community. Sorry, I make mistakes. Bear with me. This is raw. He is making this for people who are not in the know, and people who he feels need to be more accepting and understanding, which is the purpose of this track here, with this song dedicated to his uncle and his trans cousin. And I do respect him for that. And I feel one genius sonic move on here was to make the production on here very progressive. It leads to a very choir-like, very gospel-like ending, which maybe correlates to the preacher who was basically saying you're going to go to hell for living this lifestyle. Could be. He was wrong, by the way, but very, very important track here. And the ending, speaking of important tracks, this is pretty much the moment where you realize what Kendrick has been holding in. And what he's been holding in is the abuse he's had from a family member. And he's just been holding it back. And his mom asked, were you touched? And he said no, but she knew he was lying due to the fact that same thing happened to her. And I feel due to this generational problematic cycle that has been going on since slavery times, carrying off into generations, that this is a very important track to not only put forward for Kendrick's sake, but also for the sake and respect of others who have probably gone through this. And, may I say that Beth Gibbons definitely kills it on the hook of Portishead fame. And the ending, I feel, could have been left out. I feel it could have ended on Mother I Sober, because this track right here pretty much just lands in movie credits territory, if you ask me. But overall, I definitely dug this album. I thought it was great. I love the tie-ins to previous work. I love the thematic type of feel that this had. I love how each track correlates to the next, like pretty much adding to the sequential value of this album. And I thought it was great. Like, Kendrick didn't slack once when it came to the the lyrics here and the songwriting. And also, I love the production on this. Sure, some tracks had some bland production, but I do love the jazzy feel it was going for. I do love the triumphant moments on here, the sobering moments on here, the somber moments. And it definitely lands, in my opinion, as one of Kendrick's best albums. I would give this 4 out of 5 Black Hearts, and I definitely recommend this to you. If you've heard this, what did you think? Were you moved? Or when you heard this, did you want to move away because this wasn't the Kendrick you wanted? Let me know and be honest. Caspa, Gothic Ghost, and Kendrick will return.